Good morning. It's another rainy day. Do you see all those harvest workers in raincoats down there? It is a rainy day. But toilet paper and a few groceries, just they don't care that it's raining. So here we are venturing out into the rain. Yeah, it is really wet. This is kind of just a mid-month haul. I need groceries from both Aldi and Walmart, a few household things, not a whole lot. Maria has her heart set on maybe finding some, what are we gonna look for, sweetie? We're gonna look for gel pens, right? For that black paper.
I want a bag of chips.
Yeah, oh, and you want a bag of chips?
Yep.
Okay, let me just give you a quick rundown for the day. So, cranberry harvest is happening, even though it's pouring rain. I did promise the crew that I would have like a nacho bar for lunch. Joe, shh. And so I realized there were a couple things that I was missing for that. So between toilet paper, which was an absolute necessity right now, and a couple grocery items, I thought we might as well just zip in here. So it's just like 9:07 in the morning. I figured that was pretty good for getting all of us ready and out the door on this rainy day. So let's just go do a little shopping. We'll go home, have a little nacho lunch, and then maybe we'll even do some cranberry harvest vlogging later. We'll see. Depends on how much rain actually keeps coming. We need dry onion soup mix. We need some cheese slices, lunch meat. Okay, let's see what we can do. I just picked up the boys some socks. If you guys have not jumped on the wagon of Aldi clothes, man, I have been super impressed with their stuff. So I just picked the boys up some socks, although I'm thinking I might want to, no, those are different enough. I'll be able to keep those straight.
Oh yeah.
Hallelujah. And there is what we really came for. You guys know that when I grocery shop for a month, I get all the things that we wouldn't normally eat more of just because we have. And I can put a link in the description, and I'll see if I remember to put a card up there too. In this back box, I just got a bunch of stuff that's gonna make lunch a lot easier for harvest this week and next week. Got some dirty rice mix, and I have some lunch meat underneath there for making some Philly cheesesteaks, and just some chips to add on. When everyone comes in hungry, they want to eat quick. I got a couple boxes of taquitos. But this type of stuff is the stuff that I like to just buy weekly. So I have a couple things of bananas, some cucumbers for making a 7-layer salad that I never got to in my last big cooking day. And then I got some pears and some celery. We have a lot of vegetables, and then when our Uncle Dan came for harvest, he also brought a bunch of veggies, so I didn't really need that much of the perishable stuff. Some milk, lots of milk underneath here. So anyways, we're gonna head off to Walmart now. Just looking at leggings because they are only $3.88. We've been loving Wonder Nation this summer. I've gotten Maria and I think Joe too, a number of different things. Anyways, I've been enjoying the quality. And yes, Maria, you are getting some new leggings. Every pair of leggings she has looks kind of like that right now. So it was time to get a few new pairs. And truth be told, guys, I looked at oldnavy.com last night, and even with their sale and their extra 10% and extra 30%, they just couldn't compare. So we are here looking at leggings. I usually get just the solids, but she's really eyeing these up right here. I have no idea what she's gonna wear those with though. Joe, you need to hang that up and come on. We're ready. Come on. You gotta hang that back up. Those are some crazy hangers.
I can.
We'll slide it in there. Come on, Joe.
Okay. Bye.
It must be the sock day because I just remembered that Sam also needs some wool socks. That's something I always seem to be buying around harvest season.
Here.
The other day he comes out in little ankle socks. I'm like, What are you thinking? You can't wear ankle socks in your hip waders. So I'm looking for.
There.
You like these?
Yep.
I kind of like these too.
Very cool.
They are very cool, aren't they? And I like to get something that has actual wool in it.
Very cool.
That means we have to find. Where is it? Okay, so these actually have wool, 39%, some acrylic, some nylon, some lycra. Okay, I think for 2 pairs for $10, that is a good price. But very cool. There's geese on there too. How cool! Put that on your Christmas wish list. You'll have to add it to your wish list. Are you guys ready to go? You want that. You're gonna have to add it to your list, buddy. Let's get going. It's time to go home. We gotta feed the crew. Make sure that wow, you guys have some pretty good grumpy faces when you try hard. Has his shoulders shrugged. Joe is gonna do his typical right when it's time to go. Let's lay down on Walmart's floor because you know our clothes aren't already dirty enough. We're home and the fun never stops.
14.
Ah, 14, huh? How many did you get, Maria?
3. 3. 3. 5. 3. 6. Look, I'm doing 7. 1. 8. 3. 9. 3. And Mom. 5. 3.
10. Wow. All right, lunch is all done. Everybody filled up their bellies. But Amber here, what's she looking for, honey?
Boots.
Why? Did you catch that? Yeah, it's the camera's running.
Because my one pair has a hole in them.
Uh-huh.
Oh, these fit great.
And it's also pouring rain. Well, it was. It actually is now, seems to be clearing up just a little bit. Very cute. Here are the pens that we picked out.
How do you take them off?
There was a super nice Walmart employee and she told us what kind of pens we needed to write on the black paper. So hopefully this works. Try one. Which one do you want to try? Try something dark to see if it actually works.
But Mom, how do you take them out?
Well, you have to take them like that. See?
Ah.
Okay, open it up. I'm excited. I want to see if these work. You can just write right on this page. That's fine. Open it up and see what happens. You gonna write your name? Did anything happen?
I'm gonna do it on a.
You can do it on a fresh. Here, let's find a fresh page. There we go. Well, I thought they would show up a little bit more on black paper. Let's try one of these brighter colors and see how that works. We saw some that said metallic. You do it. Or some that said glitter.
It doesn't show up.
It does not show up on the black paper. Well, that is disappointing. She was so sure that this was what we needed. Well, you might have to just take...
It doesn't show up the real yellow.
I know. What about the silver? Try the silver and see if that shows up. Ooh, see? We do need metallic, don't we? The metallic really show up pretty. Is there only 2 metallic? There's a gold and a silver in here. It's turning out to be just a glorious day. Maybe you can see that in the background there. It's just super sunny. It was rainy this morning, remember? But now it is just beautiful. We're just gonna go for our daily walk on the marsh and see what we can see. And it looks like the first thing we're gonna see is the trash crew. This is the trash crew. Yay!
Out here.
Like I told you the other day, start singing. Anyways, what they're doing here is after the cranberries are all loaded out of a bed, then the flood is left on so that they can rake up all the leaf debris that's left behind. We just call it trash because that's what we're gonna do with it. We're just gonna put it in a pile in the woods and let it rot down. Whoa, heads up. Joseph, we're going this way, come on. I'm pulling out the mom snap again. Let's get moving. Look at these puddles.
Yep.
Wow. So all these beds are flooded in tiers. So there's usually, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, beds that are flooded in this first tier. And so once all of them are harvested, then that's when all this water here is going to get drained off. I know I've mentioned this to you guys before, but cranberries do not, whoo, it's getting windy again. Cranberries do not grow in water. They actually just grow on a vine in kind of like a sandy slash peat mossy type of a soil. And we just flood them up for times like this for harvest. And then of course in the winter we flood them up to make ice to protect them from the cold wind and the winter frost. So Joe has assumed his favorite spot again. That would be up with Uncle Dan. There he is, leveling the load. I think he would live out here if I would let him. Coverage and everything always shows the absolute beauty of harvest and the red fruit and everything, but boy, there is so much more to it. We've got one of our crew backing up a trailer that's going to collect all the leaf debris that comes out of the bed. Again, not a very glorious job, but it's necessary. Tightening up the boom, which is, as I understand, extremely heavy and kind of back-breaking. What? A frog just jumped in?
Yeah, jumped in right there.
Well, you know what? If you stomp a little bit, I bet you might get one. Stomp over here. Oh, another one. See, right when we walked, another one jumped in. And although we don't get a whole lot of schooling done on these cranberry harvest days, there's so much nature to learn from out here. The frogs, and yesterday Peter found a pet turtle for a while, and sometimes I have to just step back and say, you know what, this is just 2 weeks out of the year and we need to just come down and explore and just enjoy all of this beauty. I always think it's good for the kids to see the work happening so that they just know just how much work goes into farming. So a few fun facts for you guys. Wisconsin has actually been the #1 cranberry producer for 24 years in a row, which kind of baffles my mind because most of those are years that I was actually somehow involved in this industry and, you know, just knew about cranberries. Yes! I saw the butterfly, yes! So, yeah, because Warren and I will have been married 22 years here coming up, so I think it's been about 23 years that I've been on a cranberry marsh or seen cranberry harvest happening. So that's pretty cool. And there's also 21,000 acres of cranberry production in Wisconsin, and we are 51 of those acres. Look, another one! Ooh, that's a big one, and it's swimming right towards us. So keeping with my very, very random vlog here today, especially this cranberry marsh part, these bumblebees we actually purchased back in June. So these are a specific species of bumblebee that is bred basically just to kind of live for one season, and they are specifically meant for pollinating crops. They're all strapped down. Number one, we don't want the wind or something to carry them away, but we also have had a couple run-ins with bear over the years, and so they're, you know, they're roped down and tied to this pretty heavy structure here so that the bear can't knock them over either. It's pretty cool when you first get the bees. Those little blue doors are closed, and then where those openings are, there's actually a little mesh, and the bees just chew their way right through that when you open up the door. Within an hour or so, the bumblebees are flying all over pollinating the cranberry blossoms. Maria got it!
This is my first time catching.
It went behind you.
Where?
To your left.
This is my first time catching a frog.
It sure is.
Peter always catches the turtles and the frogs, but today, hey, it's climbing up on my arm. That's so gross. Frogs are gross. And turtles. But when they're babies, oh, they're so cute. I just can't stand when they're babies. I just can't hold this frog anymore. Too slippy and jumpy. Everybody in the frog world, do you ever know how much frogs are slippy? They're very hard to hang on to because they're slippy. And a slipper. Very cute.
Very sweet. Are you gonna let him go now?
Well,
Oh,
I really want to show Peter.
he looks like he needs some water, I think, on his skin. I'd let him go. I am just putting the finishing touches on some soup. I'm making some chicken and wild rice soup for supper tonight. So this is super easy. You just boil up some, in some water, carrots and celery and onions, and then in a separate pot, you can see I'm reusing this pot. I made my wild rice, and I already have that poured in here. Let me see if I can give you guys a peek. So there's the wild rice in here, and then I had cooked up a bunch of chicken breasts 2 days ago, I think it was, and so I have a whole bunch of chicken in here, and now I'm making a quick roux over here, and with butter, flour, and then I'm going to use some half and half. And when that gets nice and thick, I'm going to put that right into here, stir it all up, and let it just simmer the rest of the day. It's 3:30 basically. I'll let that simmer until everyone gets in from work, and that'll be supper. The reason that I'm out again for another walk on the marsh today is because Joseph took off. He was supposed to be playing in the little woods while I was making the soup, and I was doing a little editing too, truth be told. And he took off. So it's a super breezy day again. And we are going to find him. I can hear him even over all the equipment that's running down there. I can hear him. So we're gonna head that way.
I'm gonna find another frog.
You're gonna find another frog?
Might.
So how are things going? We haven't had any word from the boss lately.
So far so good, yeah. Crop is looking pretty good, and we we haven't had any breakdowns. The rain finally quit.
That's
a
nice.
Huge plus. No, it's good. I'm actually.
Find any frogs?
There's frogs everywhere. Everywhere.
I caught one once.
Really? I'm actually going to go start flooding the next tier of beds for tomorrow, so.
Okay.
I gotta move some water around.
He said it. He's got to move some water.
Yep.
I always feel like you're some person from the Bible when you say that. Gotta go move some.
I'm not parting the water. I'm just moving it around.
All right.
All
See
right,
ya.
see you later.
This is the next tier. So before, when Warren mentioned about flooding the next tier, this is it. And let's see if we can turn back these vines to show you guys the pretty cranberries. So this is how they grow, just like this. See, it's kind of got a little peat moss down in there, it looks like. Little peat. It's kind of sandy. If I dig down in there, and there are the cranberries. So last year I had asked Maria a couple questions about cranberries, and she just told us in her cutest little, I think you would have been 4 last year, the cutest little 4-year-old voice ever, about all the varieties of cranberries. And I thought today be kind of fun to ask you. Are you ready for today's question? Dad has been here since 1995 growing cranberries, right? Why did he decide to do this, and how did he get started in cranberries?
Well, I think Dad's grandpa, or his dad, started on these cranberries, I think. And then one of them stopped, and Dad wanted to see what it was like, so he started on cranberries. That's all I know.
So this is what it looks like after a bed is all harvested up, and they are working at getting the berry cleaner basically strapped back together so they can move it on to the next bed. And I'm getting a finger waved at me. And I guess a little air horn. Maybe that means I'm supposed to stop. It's probably safe to say that most of these guys are not used to being filmed as they work. This way we can see all the, looks like the trash crew is getting a boom loaded up on a trailer. What's going on over here, Macho Man? Is that what you're singing?
Macho Man.
Everybody wants to be a macho man.
Macho Man.
He's moved on from YMCA to Macho Man for a while. We're kind of pleased with that.
Macho Man.
He's still singing Macho Man.
Are you a macho man? Yeah. Okay.
It's not quite as miserable out today as it has been the last 2 days, but I mean, honestly, what do I know? I haven't even, ooh, Joe's mad at Maria right now. I have not been out here working, so I can't really kid myself into saying how miserable it's been. It is Saturday. They are only planning on working till noon. There's been a breakdown today down at the receiving station, and so I don't think that's changing things up too much so far. It did mean that Warren was going to drive in a truck rather than our driver Chad, but since there's a breakdown, that just changes things up. That's just how it is with any kind of farming, really. Things are very fluid, it seems like most days. I think he's probably going to keep on flooding today and then raking a bed of fruit. Yep. Hey, Joe. Maybe everyone's just going to try to rest up, because tomorrow they're going to give her again with more pipe. That'll probably happen after church. So at the point we are right now, we are past our halfway point. I think everybody is probably very pleased and relieved that we're at that point already.